We are told not to go inside this market here in al-Hol, a detention center in northeastern Syria holding tens of thousands of women and children of defeated Islamic State fighters. Authorities say some of the extremist families here are armed, and there have been as many as 79 murders so far this year. They suspect militants on the outside are smuggling in weapons, and that the murders are mostly punishments doled out by the self-declared IS religious police inside the camp. Despite ongoing security operations against IS in and around al-Hol, there are still monthly killings, according to the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces running the camp.
Several days ago, some journalists went to the camp and IS children threw stones at them. IS women enforce the IS laws, and women who break these laws are killed.
Most of the detained women and children are from Syria or Iraq, but there are also women from 57 other countries. The United Nations has called on those countries to repatriate their citizens from al-Hol and al-Raj, another northeastern Syrian detention camp for women and children associated with IS. Al-Raj is considered less extremist and less violent, but even here, children throw rocks and bits of glass bottles at visiting foreigners, and 16 tents were burnt down last month. Women in Al-Raj who choose to speak to reporters have one overwhelming message. They want to go home.
I do not want other people to make the mistakes I did by coming to Syria, bringing my children and getting them killed. I regret so much. I still hope we can go to France and have hope for my children.
Off camera, women in al-Hol tell us about harsh living conditions and also complain that boys between 12 to 14 years old are taken from their mothers and kept elsewhere in an effort to de-radicalize them. Most of the women and children in these camps surrendered in 2019 as IS lost its last bit of territory after controlling vast swaths of Iraq and Syria for years. Since then, local authorities have pleaded with the international community for help, saying the camps and other makeshift detention centers holding uncharged men, women, and children are ticking time bombs of extremism. Heather Murdoch, VOA News at the al-Hol and al-Raj camps in Syria.